children, I hope you are doing well and you're taking good care of yourself and your family. So today we'll start off with the very first chapter of physics, which is matter. So what is matter first? Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Look around yourself. Suppose the mobile phone, the laptop or the desktop, wherever you're seeing this session, can be felt by you. You can measure its length, breadth, thickness, and you can measure its mass as well. So anything which can be felt by you, which will be perceived by you, and you can measure its certain physical quantity is called matter. So matter is made up of molecules, okay, and molecules further is made up of atoms. So we must know what are the various types of matter, the states of matter which is known to us. So they are solid, liquid, gas, and one more new thing you will hear is ionized plasma. So you will have many more states of matter. I'll give you as a homework. You can find it out. Okay. Not only 4 states of matter, there are many states of matter as well, which is yet under research. Okay. So next we will learn more about matter. So as I said you, matter has molecules which bind together, okay, with the help of certain type of forces, which has a name called intermolecular forces. Now these intermolecular forces are nothing but forces of attraction. So the molecules bind together, they sit together, are held together with these intermolecular forces of attraction. Now these intermolecular forces of attraction are of 2 types. One is a cohesive force, another is a adhesive force. Now let us go into detail about what you mean by cohesive force. So cohesive force are those forces of attraction between molecules of same kind, and adhesive force, it is the forces of attraction between the molecules of different kind. I'll give you an activity to do at home. You take a tumbler, glass tumbler, pour some water in it. Now again pour that water into some other container. Now when you pour the water from one container to another container, you will find some water droplets are still sticking behind the walls of the container. So how does it happen? It is due to the adhesive force. So as I said you, adhesive force, the forces of attraction between molecules of different kinds. So their force of attraction acts between the molecules of the water and molecules of the walls of the glass container. Okay. Next, let us come to another technical term which we have to know to study more about matter is intermolecular spaces. So the intermolecular spaces are nothing but they are the small gaps which is available in between the molecules of the states of matter, and it may be negligible, it can be more or it can be huge. The intermolecular spaces can be huge in some state of matter and intermolecular forces can be negligible in a state of matter. So let us learn about details of the various states of matter. So let us select the first state of matter to be solid. So solids is anything which have definite shape and definite volume. Okay. Suppose your pencil box, it has a definite shape. You can measure its length, breadth and thickness. You can find its volume and you can find its mass easily. Next property is solids cannot flow. Can your pencil box flow? No. Can your mobile phone flow? No. So solids cannot flow and they cannot be compressed. They cannot be compressed. That means they cannot be squeezed easily. Yes. Now you will see the diagram of the molecular arrangement which is given in the slide. Can you see any spaces between the molecules? It's hardly visible. It's almost negligible. Okay. So the intermolecular spaces are very negligible in solids. Now do you know why it is so negligible? No, nothing but the intermolecular forces of attraction are very strong in between the molecules of the solids. So that is why they sit together very tightly and that is why the intermolecular spaces are very negligible. So let us proceed to which is properties of a liquid. So, can you see the picture of the liquid? Okay, it is basically the molecular arrangement inside the liquid. Okay, so do you find any difference between the molecular arrangement of liquid in this slide and the molecular arrangement of the solids in the previous slide? Yes, you can. So, what is the difference between it? The difference is, in the previous slide you found there was negligible or no intermolecular spaces, but over here you can find some gaps are there in between the molecules. So, what can be the reason behind it? The reason behind it must be such that the intermolecular forces of attraction must be weaker in case of molecules in the liquid than the intermolecular forces of attraction in between the molecules of solid. Now, liquids you are well aware, suppose water. Water can flow, and in which direction does water flow? Water can flow from higher level to a region of lower level. Yes, you will find fountains, okay, fountains, they fall from a higher level to a region of lower level, that is from a height, it flows down to a river. Yes. Next is, it is compressible. You can compress the volume of the liquid. Okay. Though some liquids, not all liquid, there are specific liquids which cannot be compressed easily, and they have only one free surface. Okay. Suppose when you take a glass of water, which surface is free? The top one. So, that is the free surface. Yes. Okay. Next is the properties of a gas. So, can you see the picture in this slide? Do you find any difference between this picture and the picture which is there in the previous slide? Yes, there is a difference. So, difference is that the intermolecular spaces is larger than any of the intermolecular spaces in that of solids or liquid. So, what is the difference? The difference was the intermolecular spaces. So, what is the reason? So, the reason is that the intermolecular forces of attraction between the molecules of the gas is way much weaker than the intermolecular forces of attraction in solids and liquids. Okay. So, if anybody asks you what is the reason behind the molecular arrangement in solid, liquid and gas, so you have to say in terms of the intermolecular spaces and intermolecular forces of attraction. So, let us proceed with later points of the properties of a gas. Next is that the molecules move with all possible velocities in all possible direction. Now, since they are free to move, why they are free to move? Because the intermolecular forces of attraction are very less. So, they are free to move. Now, since they are free to move, they can move anywhere and with any speed. Next point is they are highly compressible. Next is they have neither fixed shape nor fixed volume. Number 6, they do not have any free surfaces, and the last one is that they can flow in any direction. So, by now you have known what are the properties of a solid, liquid and gas. The next topic is the change of state. So, before that you need to know what you mean by change of state of matter. It is a process by which one state of matter converts to another state of matter by absorbing or rejecting heat at a particular temperature or at a constant temperature. And yes, there is an exception, which is the phenomena which we call as evaporation. Evaporation occurs at all temperatures. What is evaporation? It is the change of state of liquid to gas by absorption of heat. So, just consider a cube of ice. So, ice will melt into water when it absorbs heat at fixed temperature, and that process is called melting, and the melting point of ice is 0 degree centigrade. Similarly, liquid will change into gas when again heat is applied to it at a fixed temperature, which is the boiling point of water, which we call as 100 degree centigrade. Okay, and gas again will convert into solid at a fixed temperature by rejection of heat, and that process is called deposition. Now again, if we go reverse to the cycle, that is solid changing into gas directly without going into the intermediate step by absorption of heat is called sublimation. Now, gases converting into liquid at a particular temperature by rejection of heat is called condensation. Again, the last part is that liquid will again change into solid if you take away heat from the liquid, and that process is called freezing, which is also again at fixed temperature. So when you are studying about change of state of matter, you need to keep in mind that these all change of state of matter occurs at a constant temperature, be it ice or be it any other state of matter. Their change of state will always be at fixed temperature. Okay. Now, as I said you that there is an exception in the change of state of matter, which is called evaporation, which does not occur at a constant temperature. Now, you will find some differences between evaporation and boiling. So, the first point is that evaporation occurs at all temperatures. Okay, suppose when you play and you sweat, you will find when you sit under the fan, you feel a cooling effect is there on your hand or overall your body. So why do you think it doesn't happen? It happens due to evaporation. The sweat on your hand gets evaporated, that means it changes into gas. Okay. Now, boiling, it occurs at constant temperature. Suppose water. Water always boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Okay. So first difference is that evaporation occurs at all temperatures. Boiling occurs at a fixed temperature. Now, second point is evaporation is a surface phenomena. Now, what do you mean by surface? Suppose when your mother gives you a hot milk. Now, you are unable to drink that milk because it's hot. So, what do? You pour it on a flat dish which has a larger area and you let it cool and you put it under the fan. So, what do you think you are doing it? Because it will evaporate sooner. So, evaporation is a change of state of matter from liquid to gas which occurs only on the surface of the liquid. Whereas boiling, when you find water is boiling, you will find some droplets or some bubbles which forms below the water, at the bottom of the water. Okay, so what happens is that the entire mass of the liquid gets heated up. So this is the second difference, which is evaporation is a surface phenomena and boiling is the phenomena which occurs throughout the mass of the liquid. Third point is evaporation is a slow process and boiling is a rapid process and a vigorous process. Fifth point is most of the time energy of evaporation is supplied by the atmosphere or the surrounding. So since it's a state change, that is from liquid to gas, so it needs some heat to change from liquid to gas or any liquid to gas. Okay. So where this heat comes from? From where did the liquid takes the heat from? It takes from the surrounding in case of evaporation. But in boiling, when you boil a bowl of water, okay, so what you have to do? You have to turn on the oven, okay, and then what happens? The water starts taking up heat and at once it starts boiling. Slowly, gradually it starts boiling, and that is also at a fixed temperature it will occur, that is at 100 degrees centigrade the water will start boiling. Before that it will start taking heat gradually, and when it boils you will know that the water has reached at 100 degrees centigrade. Thank you.